Hello and welcome everybody. This is Kristy. This is Kristy Makes. This is part of my playlist, which is called Kristy Makes, which means basically I make something and I just show you on my YouTube channel as a make that I'm making, and you can follow along, go back and have a look at all the other makes that I've made and go from there. So this is a bin. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. And also I'll be able to, and I'll explain to you, if you don't have quilting fabric, you can just design it yourself. Okay. So I have two pieces of quilting, and funny enough, these were in a square that was like this. I didn't cut it very well. And I thought, oh, what can I do with this? And I went, I know, the perfect project was my little bin. So all you have to do is, let me get a pen, and I probably need a rule on it. I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, here it is. I estimate, so you need a triangle shape, and you can do any shape you like, but this size one here is roughly this shape. About 9 inches we've got. A little bit shorter on that side, 9 inches by 9. So 9 by 9 triangle. And so it's very easy to do. You can do yours really pretty or rough and ready or however it comes. So what we've got to do is join up these two. I'll get my clips. I'm going to put a clip in here. About there. So all three come up together. Should just put a clip in the top. I can't remember what I did. I just doing it as I'm going along. And so what you need to do is, it'd be best if you didn't, probably, you could do the inside, you could make that the inside, but it becomes very bulky. So my advice is to just sew it on the outside as is. And so we've got roughly about there. I'll put a clip in on that side and do the same there. Just fold it over. Put another clip in there. And the same for this side. That will give me my indication where to stop. I'm just using crochet cotton. You could do blanket stitch. I'm just doing an overcast stitch. Make sure you pull it quite tight. And you just keep going over and over, close together, so there's no big gaps. You can do this while watching TV or listening to music or wherever you like. Doesn't take very long to make. So I'll just do the one side. I'll just do it quickly. Yours will probably be closer together. Oh, I can hear those dogs barking. They drive me up the wall. Right, we're nearly there. Oh, now I've got a knot. I know it's caught up in that. Right, I think that's about it there. And so you do the other side. So just pretend I've done the other side, because I think it's fairly easy to do. And then all you've got to do is fold over the point about there, get your button, I'm not going to do this exact because it's just a demonstration, and sew on your button. My button's not going to be perfect. I can't get the needle in now. Stick it in my finger. There we go. So you'll have all your sides done. This side as well, and this side. Then you'll fold all those down, and all your three buttons will go on there. And there. And there you have your little bin. Now if you're finding this a bit too tall, you can cut your triangle that little bit shorter, because it's actually meeting, whereas this one is a little bit shorter. This one's a little bit littler, I should say, but it's got a big button. So you could, yeah, that I think that this would be a little bit taller, this one, a little bit bigger, but that doesn't matter. You can still get your thing in, your bits in, and then it will flatten down, and you just put it in your bag, your crochet bag, not your handbag, but just your project bag, and away you go, and you've got your little bin ready to go. And I thought that was quite sweet. So I've got two here to make. That's the other one, of course, and I'm going to put them in my bags. And it's very simple as that. Oh, there's a cat. Reva. I don't know where she is. She just meowed. So yes, that is just very simple. Up the three sides, fold over the top. And if your edging here is like mine, then you need to just do some overcast stitch just to close that off. Now, if you didn't have any quilting blanket, you can get your wadding. Let's do 8 centimeters by 8 by 8. So just that little bit smaller. I don't know if it was the cat or whether it was Charlie's tummy. Oh, there goes mine. Grumbly tummy today, Mr. Wiener. So we're just going to cut that out. So if you didn't have quilting, this is what you could do. Oh, you've got a blanket as well, don't forget, but the blanket would be quite thick, so you've just got to be careful of that. So what you can do is you can get any sort of scraps. I've got some scraps from Fleur Woods, so I might just use that itty bitty scraps. Where's the other bit? There's another one here. And when you're making scraps, try not to think about the process too much because it does your head in. What have I got? That one. Oh, there's one here. Now these come off her wool when she sends them to you. Got that one, but that's just too much. Here's another bit. Might not even need that bit. I might just do this. Right, and a tiny little bit there. Maybe if I turn this over. Trying to make do with what I have, but not use too much, if that makes any sense. That can go over there, and that can just go in there. So you pin that all together. Then you would find some white, I've got scraps. I've got lots of white scraps for the inside. Look, there's a whole big piece there. Let me see, I need to do this again. I think I've got myself confused. Right there. Oh, that did not work at all. It worked the wrong way, I think. So I'll just get my scissors and I will chop it. Make sure that's up there in the corner. Then what you do is you would just get your cottons. I've got mine over here. Your crochet cotton. There's my husband coming home. Obviously you'd have to pin all this down. So I'm back with all the stitching done. So now it's time to cut the triangle out. So what I'm going to do is cut all the edges off. Just trying to see where the thing is. The wadding, I mean. Got my words out, have I? they can all go. Oh, not the button. So that's done, and what I'm going to do is just round the edges off. Doesn't matter that I've cut a little bit more off. Oh, that's not round. Right. And then all you've got to do is just cut all your threads inside. So you'll probably think that they're the threads to put in the bin, and they're not. Okay, so that's what you've made. And same process as before. Bring them up to the center, and I'm just going to put a clip, excuse me, in the top. So you can see that it's still the bin, and I'm just going to probably sew up to that line there. Same process as before, just overcast stitch. You can just actually tuck that in your stitch. You could also do a running stitch if you want to, but then it would leave the edges quite raw. But, you know, it's your choice. It's your little bin. Just trying to tuck that tiny little bit of... Oh, I hate it when it gets itself in a knot. Just trying to tuck that tiny little bit of edging in from the thread. There we go. Ow. Keep on going. Doesn't matter whether they cross over or they're not together. If you want it a lot tighter, you'll have to put them close together. So we'll just muck that down. Yep, that'd be fine there. And then what I do now is, I may have mentioned it before, fold that over there and then mark my other spot with the pin. Tie off your yarn, your cotton, not yarn. I'm just rethreading my thread because, as always, they love to come out the needle. And then I just slip the needle through the sewing part. Like that. Pull it so it's flat and then cut off. If you find that you've done it all and you don't, and it's still a little bit gappy, whereas mine's a bit gappy there, just rethread and just go over it and do another overcast stitch over what you've already done. Same process, which I think there's a little bit of extra fabric there. Just gonna, that's better. You can get a bit bulky and you just want it to be whatever the layers are. In through the bottom. And over we go. Still the same process as before. I'll just quickly do this last one. I don't know where my thimble's gone. I seem to have lost it. Oops. I would just do a couple of extra stitches at the end. And if I've got this much left, I don't worry about keeping it. It's just too hard. So you've done that, and then turn that over. What you could do is you could get your Inktense pencils or watercolors. That a lovely spruce up inside with your paints, and so when you turn it over, you've got some lovely colour there. But then I'm going to go and put that button on, and there'll be another bin. So that will do that the same. So this one was 8 inches across to make the triangle, and I think this was 9. So this bin is a little bit bigger. You can tell it's just a fraction bigger. And so I finished this one off. I didn't go towards the, you know what I'm saying, I left it open there. Being a bit bigger bin, I think it needs that opening. I could also just get my thread and re-thread to the top of that corner, which I might do on this side because it seems to be a little bit more gaping than the other side. And if you wanted to, it can also turn into a clippy bag, a clips to hold your clips down. And if you're that desperate to put your needle somewhere or your pins, it could also just, you know, hold your pins for a minute or two while you know, sort out your threads or whatever have you. So that is my project for Kristy Makes. I have another one here to do, so I'm going to make this one as well, and these are going to go and pop into my project bag, ready to go. All I've got to do is I want a pouch in my project bag, a needle book and a bin, and just pick up the bag and off I go. So that's what I'm doing with my project bags, with the projects, making sure that every project bag has something in it, and I don't have to shuffle from one thing to another, get this one box or tin and carry it from one bag to another. And I might have forgotten. And sorry about that. I might have forgotten, and then, you know, you can't do your project because you've left the tin somewhere in another bag. So that's me waffling on, and these are the little buttons for that one, obviously. And I hope you like what you see, and give me a thumbs up and make a lovely comment. I love to read them, and I certainly comment back to you when you do that. All right, thanks for watching. Sorry, I forgot to I forgot to say that when you do up the sides, you also need to do the overstitching on the edge to close up the edges, otherwise they'll be all open. All right, thanks.